Hello and welcome to part 2 of 12 bar blues. Just want to do a quick little review from part 1, and that's the blues scale itself in the key of C. I picked C because it's easier to pick off the blues notes and the non-blues notes. So let's just review the scale. Start off on the tonic, go through the flat 7, through a 5, chromatically through a G flat to the F, and through the E flat like a minor third, and back to the tonic. And of course the scale runs both directions, up and down. These are considered all steps. The white notes in the case of C, they're the non-blues notes, are totally free. You can leap to them, leap from them, go by step. Totally free to leap to and from. The blues notes are your black notes in the scale of C. The B flat connects the G, it's the bridge between here. The G flat connects the G to the F, and the E flat connects the F to the C. So the blues note connecting notes to the non-blues notes. You can leap to a blues note, but if you do so, it's usually best to change direction. So if I leap up to a blues note, if I leap down to a blues note, again, I want to change direction and go the opposite way. Very seldom do you ever want to jump from a blues note to another blues note. Remember, the blues notes in the case of C, the three black notes, are the connecting notes to the non-blues notes. Alright, that was just a little review of part 1. Want to move into some new areas here. In part 1, there was no bass reference. It would have been nice if I had a bass player over in the corner, but I didn't. So I was just plunking down either a 1 chord dominant, a 4 chord dominant, or the 5 chord dominant. But there's no bass consideration. If I wanted to do a bass consideration, well, obviously that becomes melody in its own right. The harmony has to come in somewhere. I'm going to have to do it in my right hand. And by doing so, rather limits what I can do. So let's just concentrate on the right hand. If I'm chording in my right hand doing blues, I don't have the fluidity to do that. I can reach up and grab that E flat, that's part of the blues scale, pass through the B flat, probably revoice it to a C9, allows me to pick up the G, to go through the G flat to the F and back down to the E flat to the C. If I'm coming down the blues scale using an F chord, my 4 chord, probably use a 9 in this case. Allows me to pick up the E flat, the 7 of the F chord, pass through the B flat, revoice it as an F9, through a flat 9 to the tonic of the F chord, and revoice it through the E flat down to there. If I'm playing a 5 chord, probably voice it like so. That allows me to pick up the B flat. Comes across as a nice sharp 9, lovely sound. Pass through the G flat, come in on the F, the 7, probably revoice it to a flat 13, and arrive back on my tonic chord, the 1 chord. We did mention that on the 5 chord it would be nice to use the tonic of the key that we're in this case the key of C, but if I just play the 5 chord against the C, I have a conflict between the 3rd and the C, which is the 4th or the 11th. So if I'm chording in my right hand, I would probably voice this as an 11 if I wanted to use the C for a longer value. Let's take a look at the left hand. The left hand will tend to follow the blues scale when it's descending, but use the basic major scale from the Ionian mode when ascending. So if I'm descending in a bass pattern here, I'll probably use the notes again out of the blues scale. I might be tempted to also allow the A in and the D in, but again, the more I do that, the less bluesy it's going to sound, but there certainly would be available. If on the other hand I'm ascending, I'll revert back to the major scale and forget the blues notes altogether and just walk it up like so. So descending, you tend to stick with the blues scale. Ascending, you tend to stick with the notes found in the basic major scale. The right hand is going to be playing the chords, very simple melodic consideration because all the attention is going to be in the bass section here. I'm going to walk up to my 4 chord through the major scale, back down through the blues. Going to walk down to my 4 chord through the blues scale. Walk up to the G, so I'll use the major scale. So if I'm bringing the attention to the bass line, obviously I'm not going to be doing much in my right hand. On the other hand, if I want to develop my right hand, you're not going to see too much bass movement. It can't be in 2 places at once. That's why it's nice to have a bass player. But in the real world, you kind of mix and match. So if I want to have the fluidity here, then I'm going to not be doing too much in the bass in the bass section. If on the other hand, I want to develop a bass line, I'm not going to be doing too much at that particular time on my right hand. So there is a nice little balance between the two. Let's give it a listen. I'm going to switch back and forth. You'll see where I'm bringing your attention either to my right hand or my left hand. Now I had movement here in my right hand. Brought your attention to my left hand. I'm going to leave that. Back to my left hand. Leave that. Bring back your attention to my left hand. That. Now I'm free. Bring your attention. A little riff you might consider putting in it, it's kind of a fun thing and it works beautifully in C blues, is to go between the minor third and the tonic of the scale and play it like so. You just kind of play between these notes here. You could even go to the B flat if you wanted. You can do it in all kinds of rhythmic considerations. Basically used as a fill. Remember my motif, I'll do that and then I'll use a little bit of that just as a filler as I move through the 12 bars. My 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, back to my motif. Maybe a nice run. Bit of an echo. fun stuff. That's the whole idea, is having fun. Going to look at some alternative harmonies. So the first 6 bars are basically the same. I'll just put together a little blues feeling here. Going to my 4 chord, bar 5, bar 6, bar 7, to bar 8, an A7 chord, to a D7, to a G7, and back to my turnaround. 1 to the 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, and to the 5, and back around again. So what did I do? So as I came off the bar 5, bar 6, bar 7, took me to an A7 chord, and now they're just 5s on 5s. That's tonicization, which check tonicization on my tutorials, you'll find out all about that. So up 4 to a D7, up 4 to a G7, up 4 to a C7, and then the elaboration to turn it around and back in again. So it is a nice alternative to the last 5 or 6 bars in your standard blues. So let's give it a listen. This time I'm going to develop the bass when I do that, and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing here. Bar 1, bar 2, F. Bar 3, bar 4, bar 5, bar 6, bar 7, bar 8. Nice little walk up. So it's kind of a neat little thing I can get. A7, D7, G7, then to our elaboration, to the 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, and our turnaround to the 5, and back into it again. There's a blues that's called Stormy Monday Blues, and I remember it's rather unique that, again, the first 6 bars are your standard blues, and then it totally leaves the blues feeling altogether and takes you on a little journey, but then brings you back before the end of the 12 bars. Let's give that a go, and you'll see what I'm doing here. So starting off traditional blues for the first 6 bars. My 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, my C7, my 4 chord. Now here's where the switch is coming. Switch us back into the blues to our elaboration of our turnaround. So what I'm doing at that point, so after I come off my 4 chord in bar 5, then bar 6, I'm going to just do a simple walk up C major 7, well, totally nothing to do with blues whatsoever. Through on my 3rd beat, D minor 7, 1st beat of the next bar, E minor 7. Here I can use an E flat minor 7, or a half diminished, E flat half diminished, or a full-blown E flat diminished to a D minor chord. Then that changes to the F7 chord, and you can hear the blues now coming back in to our elaboration of the turnaround. Here we go. So there you go. There's some ideas that you can put together, some alternative harmonies, bass movement. Hope you enjoyed my little tutorial. Until next time, yours truly, Dave Burt, saying have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.